Invictus, my kings, and welcome to a light roleplay playthrough of What If the Hellenic Rome of ancient times survived into the into 1444 in EU4. All mods used will be mentioned in the description, obviously. And here we go. We are about to play as Rome. We have a whole bunch of claims all around the Mediterranean. We have claims. And I got this to work sort of haphazardly by, I had to finick a little bit with a couple of mods and some settings and stuff like that. Even bugged the game a little bit. As you can see, we can already pick the second government reform, even though, let's just strengthen over privileges, why not? And we are playing as Hellenic Rome. Yes, we are Hellenic. We can select a deity. Let's go initially with Minerva because of the technology cost. That's going to be very useful. But the Religio Romana mod, as you can see, all of the deities have various buffs. All of them are very good. They're very good for different reasons. But let's go with Minerva for production efficiency and technology cost initially. So let's go with Minerva. And let's set up our estates. As you can see, we have the Collegium Pontificum even. So we are gonna, Pontiff Diplomats, obviously. We will, for the time being, I think that's fine. Maybe appease the pontiffs. For some goodies, let's promote merchant bookkeeping, merchant guilds financial demand, and free enterprise, and obviously indebted to the merchant guilds. And for the last two, nobility, we are gonna go grant military governorship because we are playing as an Italian nation. And increased levies and the supremacy over the crown. For the clergy, let's go right of donation, clerical education, religious diplomats, and expansion and zealotry is definitely going to be very useful. And also clerical ministers is going to be very useful. And let's seize 5% crown lands. I'm not gonna give out the extra mana privileges because, that's something which I'm not comfortable with. We're gonna play with a bunch of vassals because, as you can see, our governing capacity, we're almost at the limit. So we're gonna have to play with a bunch of vassals. And so, because we're gonna play with a bunch of vassals, I don't want to strengthen them, make them all angry with us. But here we can become Pontifex Maximus. So let's election of Pontifex Maximus. All priests of Hellenic faith gather here in Rome participating in the election of Pontifex Maximus. You know the result is guaranteed. Still, maybe there'll be a good chance of improve our prestige and show the world our strength. Imperator Giacomo is elected Pontifex Maximus. Pontifex Maximus. Yeah, it's missionary strength, all that good stuff. Let's start converting our provinces, which are still Catholic. But I do have a mod which will automatically flip all of our nation to Hellenic because we are role-playing after all. We are role-playing the fact that ancient Rome, Hellenic Rome, somehow survived to the year 1444. And let's get a general. Yeah, let's get a general. Let's give them some admin support. And let's get a general, pretty decent general, not the best, not the worst. Let's get some advisors. Discipline's gonna do us very good. And let's start. Now, the first order of business is actually going to be taking out Provence. But actually, the very first order of business should be getting some alliances. So let's see. Poland would be very good to get Poland. Then I would love to have Castile as an ally. And who else? Hungary would be great. You have no diplomats, obviously. No diplomats, that's gonna be an issue. There we go, Hungary. Pretty decent for a stepping stone. There we go, player only. And now I can switch all of our wonderful nation, instant religion or provinces. Bam, changes to Hellenic, and let's turn that off. We're gonna play fairly from now on. It's just that I wanted, for roleplay reasons, you understand, to have a Hellenic Rome, because we are role-playing over here. Our dynasty is the Palaiologos Palaiologos, what a tongue twister. The Palaiologos dynasty of the Byzantines. So you obviously know who I formed Rome with Montferrat. Yes, they have access to the Palaiologos dynasty. And vessel fee, something is, but it should be fine. Let's get some rivals going. Austria, definitely. France, definitely. Mamluks, sure. Don't need to become defender of the faith. And root out corruption can go to max. And let's get our final ally if we can. Let's get maybe Tlemcen. Maybe Tlemcen. Or actually, let's go with Brittany. Why not? Let's go with Brittany. That's going to be good when we fight France. Brittany is going to be very useful. Let's start making these armies head up north, because we're going to go for Provence. Yes, we're going to go straight for Provence. And here we go. We became a great power number to the Roman Empire with 727 development. That's gonna grow immensely, obviously, as we play. But oh yeah, let's take care of our merchants. Let's just click from trade. There we go. Not really all that in depth when it comes to this game and playing with trade, I'm gonna be completely honest. I know the very basics, and that's about it. That's about it, kings. But let's get a nice hefty fleet going, and let's declare war on Provence, because they're easy pickings. They're gonna be very easy to take out. Brittany, let's promise some land, and let's go for Toulon. Oh, well, they're actually allied to the French. Still allied to the French. Let's wait for the French to break that alliance then, and then go after them. They should break that alliance very quickly. But in the meantime, I see that we have quite a huge potential for enlarging our army. So let's actually get onto that. City demands, yep, definitely. I'm not gonna bother actually handing out these individual seats to the Senate. I'm just going to... Wisdom is power, yes indeed. I'm just going to hand them over as they roll in. Has France still hasn't broken that alliance. That's very strange. They usually do it at very beginning. But it seems like they aren't breaking that alliance, so never mind. Change of plan. We're not gonna go, or maybe we will wait until France is busy with other stuff. I can't believe they still haven't broken that alliance. I'm just gonna wait a little bit until if they break the alliance or not, then we'll proceed further. Just my luck, the French decided not to go to war with the British, or rather the English decided to give up Maine, so there's gonna be no Maine war, and Provence is still allied with France, so right off the bat this campaign is not getting to the finest of starts. Definitely not. But never fear, I have a plan B, and plan B is to bring basically Byzantium into the fold. Yes, let's just take Constantinople, bam, immediately set forward with our fleets and our armies, and let's take care of business. When it comes to the Byzantines, we're gonna be puppeting them, putting them under our very careful care. Yes, the Roman Empire needs to take care of its own. We're going to make sure that nothing happens to them, you know, Italian style, you know how it is. We are going to, well, put them under careful supervision, so to say, so they don't fall into any bad traps with their surrounding with their surrounding enemies or anything like that. No, we're gonna make sure that they remain nice and safe, and that's about it. That's what we're gonna go with. And this army probably should have gotten a general, but anyway, doesn't matter now. All of our armies can march across. I believe they still have their bad debuffs, so we should be fairly safe to just keep going and to disembark our whole army on the gates of Constantinople and start bearing down upon them and to puppet them. Yes, that's going to be very useful. I believe we definitely need them under our care. As you can see, the Ottomans already going to war with Albania and the Knights, so very aggressive, really need to make sure that nothing bad's gonna happen to our fellow Roman brethren. Yes, indeed, they are our fellows and fellow travelers, you might even call them. Yes. Oh, by the way, while I'm at it, while we are just waiting for these forts to fall and then eventually to destroy the Byzantine and Athenian armies, this playthrough, this campaign will probably, part 1 will go until 1544, then part 2 will go until 1644. Yeah, we're gonna go by 100-year marks, more or less. And I plan on going up until either the very end or until we capture the entirety of the Roman Empire, which who knows when that's gonna be. But I'm probably going to play even after that a little bit. Looks like our heir died, doesn't matter. We stack wipe them, very nice. And this siege is still going on, but soon we will. Oh, 4, 5, 6 is pretty good, actually. 4, 5, 6 is pretty good. And, yeah, Severina Palaiologos. Palaiologos. Jesus, these names. But, yeah, as you can see, while we are going about not really doing much, I had to change the world a little bit because I had to annex all of the Italian nations and all of the provinces of Italy into the Roman Empire. I had to change the layout of the world around the Mediterranean here a little bit. So Catalonia exists, Valencia exists, Dalmatia exists, and Venice has been relegated to Negroponte, and the Genoans now own a bunch of colonies, but not much of anything else. So yeah, it's a doozy. Definitely, it's a doozy. But I don't think, in the grand scheme of things, that should actually change that much. All right, there we go. This war is basically over. All we need to do is to Roman vassal. Take this province, get all their money, bam, easy, and then we will release Bulgaria, obviously. So we already have 3 vassals. Let's pacify the provinciae, whatever that means, and let's also get strong duchy, so we have even more diplomatic relation slots. And let's get another ally in. Now, who could be ally? Who could be ally who would be at least semi-useful? Burgundy. Definitely Burgundy. Yeah, Burgundy is going to be very useful. Burgundy is going to be very useful. But while we are in the neighborhood, let's declare war, reconquest for the core of Arta. And... oh yeah, we have a truce, but let's go. Let's conquer Epirus. While we are at it, let's add these provinces into the finest of the Roman provinces. Let's go. This should be a breeze. And here we go, both sieges are done. So let's, with Naxos, let's actually hand this province over to Byzantium, and let's just sue for peace. There we go, full annexation, wonderful. And the same thing will be done with here with Epirus. We don't need any more puppets, that's for sure, or vassals. as they're known as in this game. And let's just wait for the diplomat. Bam, there we go. Byzantium grows. Yes, it grows. I wonder, they're at war with Dokadi, Ramazan, Timurids, Fars, Noga, and Akko Yunlu. I think this might actually be a very good opportunity to actually strike against the Ottomans. Now, we have a bunch of puppets. Our puppets aren't that bad. Let's see, who would be willing to come in? Nobody, but we have a numerical advantage. They have no allies. I think this is the moment to strike. So let's go for reconquest of Tirhala. And let's march forward. Let's go against these fools. Now, we don't have the strongest navy, but maybe our navy could take on theirs. Let's get an admiral going. Not the best, not the worst. Let's see how this combat goes. We are thrashing them. Very nice. Very nice. We have thrashed them thoroughly. So now we control the straits. It's very good. Let's get this party started. Let's reconquer all of the Byzantine cores and all of the... Oh, who wants to join Hungary? Come in, come in, come on in. Come on in. Let's actually start building a spy network against the Ottomans, and let's get this party on the road. And because of our wonderful goddess Minerva that we thoroughly and absolutely worship, not only are we making bank, but we can also take ahead of time, well, maybe not ahead of time, but sooner than otherwise we might be able to get, we are able to get military tech 4, which is very important in this stage of the game. And early on, Minerva is honestly a goated goddess because, well, you can take... let's build up... No, actually, let's wait for churches and let's then build up churches. Because you can take technology sooner, which is very important in the early stages of the game. And it means that puts you in a general advantage. Not only do you save on costs, but your army just grows stronger in general, and your nation is more stable and more stronger, and everything's better if you worship Minerva. Yes. And look at that, we also spawned the Renaissance. Well, obviously we spawned the Renaissance. We spawned the Mediolanum. Absolutely wonderful. There we go, a bunch of points. I suspect this means, yeah, we can take Tech 4 in both administrative technology and in Diplo technology. And let's start building some churches. These are going to be very useful, yes indeed. But the war proceeds, well, very nicely. The Ottomans, because they're stuck in multiple wars, they have no way of getting out of any of this. They are going to get absolutely thrashed. We're going to retake all of the Byzantine cores, all the Bulgarian cores. Everything's going to become Roman again. And there we go, the Ottomans are at 99%. I think that's about the best we're gonna get. So let's just return cores to Byzantium and Bulgaria. That's gonna be very nice. Let's try to go for as many cores as possible. Maybe we'll actually manage to get all of them. That would be actually quite something. Yeah, that's about as good as we're gonna get. We're also gonna flip this. Yeah, it's already occupied by Byzantium, so we're gonna get their capital to Byzantium, get some money, and bam, there we go. Pretty good for the first couple of years, I would say. Now, obviously, this is a modded playthrough, but even so, this is going swimmingly well, and now we can turn our attention towards the west and towards Africa. We have our little Balkan defense force ready. The Ottomans have been thoroughly humbled. They have been crushed beneath the heel of the Roman. And now it's time to crush some more heels? No, to crush some more people under heels of Roman boots. It seems that Aragon is getting crushed by Castile, but Castile is our ally, so it doesn't really matter to us now, does it? I think actually the next order of business should be the conquest of Catalonia. They have no allies. This is gonna be, well, this is gonna be very easy. We're just gonna invade like there's no tomorrow. Your existence was a mere mistake of mine, and you will be destroyed. You will be dismantled. Actually, we could probably vassalize Aragon over here. But nah, let's not vassalize anyone, any more people. We already have enough vassals as it is. We have Byzantium, Bulgaria, we have Athens, we have a whole bunch of strength everywhere. Which actually reminds me, Orthodox is going to be an accepted faith within the Roman Empire. The Orthodox Christianity is going to be accepted, tolerated. It is an imperial religion after all, not like those Catholics who are the fake Germanic imperial Catholics. The Pope even resides. Well, he probably resides somewhere around here. I don't really know. Is the Pope somewhere? Where's the Pope? The Pope is here in Hall. Yes, he is now a part of the Holy Roman Empire, I believe. Yes, he is. So, truly a despicable situation. We are not going to tolerate any of that. No. Orthodox, those guys can keep whatever they're doing. That's none of our business. We are tolerant Hellenes. We're tolerant Hellenes, and we will... we will tolerate the existence of the Orthodox, but not the Catholics, not the Muslims, nothing like that. Orthodox, that's fine, but only because the Eastern Romans, are Orthodox. That's why we'll tolerate them for the time being. Let's actually wait. Actually, find this province. And let's do a little bit of carpet sieging over here, and let's get Catalonia a part of the Roman Empire once more. Yes, indeed. Alright, so our first foothold into Spain has been dealt with. Now it's time to salt the earth of Carthage once more. Let's go into the breach. Let's get Tunis captured. Let's get this party started, and let's get going. They managed to hammer our ships a little bit. That's worrying. So let's hope that doesn't happen. No debate in the Senate. Let's get manpower. We definitely need manpower. Military support, Southern Parliament, Diplo. There we go. More manpower. More fodder for the army machine. Definitely needed. Definitely important. And it's going to be very useful here pretty fucking soon, isn't it? But we can also enact a government reform. I think expanded royal court is gonna be pretty good. Or maybe, let's see, representatives of the crown, since we have quite a few let's go representatives of the crown, since we have quite a few subjects. I think it's only fitting that we do that. Wisdom is power, yes indeed. Let's build a bunch. If wisdom is power, then we need a bunch of churches to properly honor the gods, since we are the only Hellenic power here. Hellenic Orthodox, a bunch of Catholic. Actually, Bohemia decided to go Hussite this time. That's pretty interesting. They're at war with Brandenburg, the Papal State, and Goslar. So they are pulling some moves, but they decided to go Hussite. Now that's very interesting. Okay, then that's something to keep in mind. But we are now here dominating Carthage, so no need for us to bother ourselves with some Hussites. Alright, now that problem has been dealt with, we can actually, rightful heirs. We are the true heirs of Rome, or take a more tacit approach. I think I'll go with the tacit approach, because taking -2 Diplo relations that's quite a bit. We're gonna get coalition to death anyway, so that's even, that would make it even worse. So let's take a more tacit approach. And we still need more provinces in Africa for us to be able to take the Africa Proconsulate mission. Let's rival France. There we go. Let's turn off these embracing of the institution spread edict. And let's take the tech, Diplotech, and we're actually going to be way behind in administrative tech because I was coring a bunch here. But our realm grows, so I think I'll actually I'll have to work with puppets, won't I? Yes, I'll have to puppet, for example, Valencia. Who's Valencia? Allied to England. Yeah, I'll have to work with puppets a little more, but maybe feed someone like Wallachia. I don't know. Let's see the claims of Bulgaria. No claims. What about Byzantium? Byzantium has a bunch of claims. Maybe we could work with that. We'll see. But anyway, for the time being, let's just chill out and take stock of the situation. What might be actually relatively a prudent thing to do is to try and hammer France as much as possible. So let's go on a bit of well, how to call it, a bit of an expedition, a bit of a financially motivated expedition that is going to hopefully produce a punitive expedition that's hopefully going to make me relatively wealthy. Yes, we could even try and release some provinces from them, but the main point of this is so that France doesn't become this end game boss, this super powerful end game boss that we're gonna eventually have to fight tooth and nail to take down. No, I want them to be nice and tacit and calm and subdued and all those wonderful things. I want the war against them to be very pretty much basically constantly ongoing, but by the time we actually get to conquering France, I don't want them to be so powerful because we left them alone. So this isn't just about making them weaker, it's about making us stronger, it's about making us more wealthy, it's about boosting our relations with our various allies. It's all around a very good thing. Who cares if a bunch of Frenchmen have to die along the way? It is what it is. It's sometimes it just has to be that way, you know. It's what are you gonna do? Alright, looks like we got a new imperator. The old guy died, so now we have Imperatrix Severina. So we have a female ruler, fairly decent. The air is relatively okay as well. And let's just keep with Minerva for the time being. She has served us well all this time, so well, let's just stick with Minerva for the time being. And that's gonna be, I think, relatively fine. When wisdom is power, indeed, wisdom is definitely power, and we will make full use of this wisdom. Can introduce vision quest, very nice. And we can't quite become Pontifex Maximus because we need to be at peace. Yes, we need to be at peace, so hopefully we can crush the French so quickly that we can then become Pontifex Maximus without any issues. Let's march on Paris and let's get this over with. Now we can actually take admin tech 4, and I'm actually gonna go for diplomatic here. We can already take the next diplomatic tech, but I think it'd be better if I invest into this, because well, it's Diplo, right? You want admin and Diplo, and the French are ready to peace out, but let's peace out Savoy independently first. Let's sue for peace, and then war reps, all your money, there we go. Don't need anything more from you. Now let's go to France. Now this is gonna be interesting. War reps, all your money, and release Picardy, Foix, and Berry. Let's say you release all those nations and cancel subjects Armagnac and Bourbon. Bourbonnais. There we go. That was a very good peace. We have released a bunch of people. France is severely humbled, humiliated, and all those wonderful things. Become Pontifex Maximus. Yes, a glorious celebration will be held. Or just so be it. Yeah, so be it. That's fine. No need to be all up in arms about this. But yeah, we managed to humiliate France. That was what this whole expedition was about. And next on the chopping block is going to be probably Well, maybe the Ottomans, maybe Tunis, maybe I'll actually go for Serbia to capture that sweet, sweet gold mine. We'll see how things develop. Just kidding, it's time to go for a very similar expedition against, well, against Austria, isn't it? There's some sort of fake claimant to be a Roman emperor. Yeah, I don't think so. I don't think so, buddy. We're gonna crush them. A similar sort of style to how we crushed the French. You know, gonna take all their money, maybe release someone. Maybe Styria would like to exist. We are just gonna keep these punitive expeditions going until morale improves, or until we are finally accepted as the rightful owners. Yes, the Roman Empire is back. We may have been asleep for quite a while. We are now back, and we are back with a fury of the old gods. Yes, a fury of the old gods that's going to wreak havoc upon these unsuspecting fools of Austria, France, and anyone who would dare challenge us on our complete rightful superiority now. Anymore, and YouTube's probably gonna ban me, so let's not get any further, and let's rather go on with this campaign. Alright, now with Austria, we really don't need to go that far. Austria is pretty weak anyway. Let's just take all their money. And could we make them release Tyrol? Maybe let's make them release Tyrol. Oh, never mind. They're not gonna be happy about that. Well, never mind then. Pillage capital. Give enforced military access. Enforced fleet. No. Transfer trade power. No. Okay, let's just do this. Let's just ravage their capital, and that's gonna be the safest option, I think. And then we really need to turn towards Tunis again, because our truce isn't ending anytime soon. But let's check this mission. Italia, Transalpina. Okay, so next on the chopping blocks is definitely has to be France again. Then we have to go against Hungary, who is our ally, so that's not going to be very good. But we have to... So Tyrol is another area which we have to head into. But... take the littoral. So we have to take a bunch of the Adriatic coast over here, which is going to be a little bit of a bother. But in general, it's a bother because we are so on edge with our governing capacity. I might have to... how about the Ottomans? The Ottomans... 67 July, so the truce of the Ottomans is actually ending here pretty soon, so we might go against them, and I might actually feed a whole bunch of their provinces to Byzantium. I mean, they have claims on this stuff anyway, so we'll see how things go. But next on the chopping block, we are back to war with the Ottomans, I think. Okay, the Ottoman War went relatively well. We have, we have a bunch of stuff we can do, but more importantly, we should get back to dealing with the Tunisians. And let's transfer all of these holdings towards the Byzantines. Yes, let's even... This should go to the Byzantines, I think. Let's just transfer all of this stuff towards Byzantium so that we don't have to worry about it. Let's make them a worthwhile empire, at least a little bit. Here we go. All of it belongs to Byzantium now. They can govern it however they want. What's important to me is that they remain loyal and they remain a part of Rome. Because, well, that's what they're here for, isn't it? Isn't it the most important part of their existence is to be Rome? I think so, personally. So, yeah, it's time to go back to war with Tunis and force them to pay. Yeah, sure. Burgas. We can repay our loans. Very nice. That's what we are here for. Who's unhappy? The merchants are unhappy. Oh, well, there are always going to be some people who are just unhappy. But Tunis doesn't even exist anymore. So who are we to go to war with? Mazab and Tripoli, I suppose. But yeah, I was talking about how we have to worry about Tunis, but Tunis doesn't even exist anymore, dude. They're gone. They have been reduced to atoms. So Burgundy, Switzerland, yeah, sure. I'm not gonna bother with that actually. But I'm gonna focus on my own war. The only reason why I'm helping Burgundy is because they are strong and they're gonna be a powerful ally against the French. But as it sits right now, we don't actually need them. In fact, let's start our golden era and to commemorate the beginning of the conquest of Mazab, that is. Mazab, and I think I'll full annex these guys. There's no reason not to. Yeah, they are joined by Tlemcen, and we are going to steamroll them. In fact, I might actually immediately start a war against Tripoli as well. And we are going to conquer this whole area and finish that part of the mission tree that we have been meaning to finish for a while now. The vile pirates of Tripoli have taken stuff from us, and we need our stuff. We cannot have our stuff just randomly being taken now, can we? Whoa, the Castilians are dealing with some major rebels. Granadan separatists, a bunch of Granadan separatists popped up over here. Looks like Granada is gonna be popping up soon, I think. What the hell, that's so much. Oh well, you know, it's it's their empire. They decide how to govern it. So if they feel like not doing anything about their rebellions is the way forward, then hey, more power to them. Ansbach. Yeah, okay. So we're in a bunch of wars, but no worry. We'll crush all enemies of the Roman Empire. All right. Well, with the North African War up and finished, we can take the mission Africa per Consulare, which gives us the reconquest of Africa until the end of the game, meaning government capacity. Governing capacity is increased. We also get some navy stuff, very nice. And we also unlocked finally artillery, so I think now is the perfect opportunity to strike against the French once more. We do have a little bit of a truce with them, but that's just enough time for us to build up our artillery and to move on. Damn, I forgot to take... I forgot to take Djerba. Never mind, we'll have to move in against the North Africans again at some point, it seems. But let's get the admin. The admin power is gonna be much more useful. Let's also hire some mercenaries here. Let's get the free company up and running in North Africa just to make sure that no rebellion seizes our new hold, our new provinces. Poland against Crimea and Genoa. Yeah, sure, no problem. There's going to be no involvement from my side, however. So you best deal with that on your own. The Byzantines are getting a bunch of revolts, but that's their problem. They have more than enough territory to deal with it on their own. Our truce with Austria just expired as well, so we will go up against the French and also the Austrians right after I deal with the French. We'll deal with the Austrians once more. You have more than enough manpower in the bank to deal with them. Tunis, there we go. Finally some rebellions are popping off, so let's use the free company to deal with them. And then let's transfer our main armies to the mainland. 5 artillery should be enough. My second idea group is administrative ideas. It's fairly simple. Diplo admin is pretty good for blobbing, so that's what we're gonna go for. Are we actually? Yeah, we're close to the next Diplotech, so let's wait until we take that. Let's give it some time until the artillery builds. Wisdom is power indeed. And where was this rebellion? It was in Lissus over here, so that's the Byzantines should take care of that. The Eastern Romans, we are at the moment the Western Romans, still the Hellenic Romans. Yeah, this doesn't matter. Okay. So the Provence is actually a junior partner of France, so the French went for that whole holding of for that whole side of their mission tree where they gain access to Provence as a junior member of a partnership or as a junior partner. So this is going to be quite interesting. Yeah, we can take the first idea of the admin ideas, and very shortly here we will be starting a war. We have no loans for the moment, so that's very good. Independence for Tripoli and Fezzan. Okay, looks like the Genoese went on a little bit of a road trip. Let's actually peace out of this war because I don't want anything. From it. It's just a waste of time. The Polish can handle it well on their own. And now that we actually have such a high yeah, let's build a marketplace in Genoa. But now that we have such high what you call it, crown land, we can actually start giving away the admin privileges. So this takes 10%, but it gives stability, cost modifier, monthly administrative power with this. This is 10%, so it's 10% crown land either way. So let's go with the pontiffs, and then let's go with these guys, and then finally let's go with the primacy of the nobility. So our crown land took a little bit of a hit, but it's better than if I were to do it at the very beginning. Obviously, we don't get as many. We don't get as much. What you call it? Don't get as many mana points when we do it just like this, but. I think it's fine. There we go. War declared. We will aim to take a bunch of Gaul because, well, our mission tree demands that we do. Low crown land. Yeah, we're gonna have to seize a bunch of land in this engagement, hopefully, and we will be Gucci when it comes to crown land. Yeah, let's get some innovation going. We actually do have a bit of innovation going, mostly because of the Divine Minerva. Yes, let's call her Divine Minerva, giving us tech cost, meaning we have 31 innovativeness, which is actually pretty decent. It's ultimately it's pretty good. Let's actually just march our armies towards Paris, so that the French know who's who, what kind of business they've stumbled into. And let's pick our fourth. Somebody's sending me a message. And let's pick our fourth government reform and strengthen clergy privileges. Monthly war exhaustion, that's pretty good. Clergy loyalty, that's kind of iffy, and then clergy influence, that's too much. Let's go with expand temple rights, I think, because of we'll just build a bunch of churches everywhere. So let's get to building churches, so that we have reduced reduced unrest and increased taxes. And it's gonna be the meta for a little while here, I guess. These guys are free, actually. We freed them in the last war, I believe. So, who we can call in toward the Bourbonnais? Yeah, sure, Bourbonnais, you can come in. Yeah, they can come in. Constantinople. Orthodox Zealots, they still get those. Maybe it wasn't the best idea to give so many provinces to such an unstable puppet, but let's see, this is... wine. Invest in better production methods, definitely, and then let's build some marketplaces. Siege of Paris already. Man, the French really aren't that strong. Here. We're just mopping them up. Yeah, let's get some mercantilism going. We are about to actually max out on our mill mana. So let's develop our provinces a little bit. Let's see some. Yeah, there we go. Maybe I should, because of the Minerva's blessing, so to say, we are actually steaming through the individual texts, and now we are even ahead of time on a bunch of them. So that's good. But the France here is getting absolutely demolished. I'm not even like doing anything too bad to them, yet they are getting smushed from all sides. Needless to say, France will not be the end game boss that it usually is in my games. Savoy, we can just get some more reps, and then we can use Savoy maybe to reset the truce with the Burgundian succession with the Palatine. Okay, so Burgundy is out of the picture. Burgundy is no longer an ally. They are a junior member of the... Was it the Palatinate? Yes, it's the Palatinate, who's surprisingly so the emperor as well. So Austria is no longer the emperor, but it doesn't really matter. All that means is that we won't have to bother. There we go. So +2 Diplo rep and +2 Diplo rep. We have so much Diplo rep now, it's crazy. But needless to say, any sort of coalition won't be that big of an issue. But Burgundy being part of the Palatinate is better than it being part of France. These provinces are the end game for us. We'll take these provinces that are next to the HRE. These are going to be some of the last provinces that we take or that we fight over. We really don't need to worry about it now. And yeah, let's lose the prestige. We really don't need to worry about it now at all. It's gonna be something for the future to really take care of. Let's just lose the prestige. There's no need for any palaces at the moment. And let's see, why aren't the Cleves, Let's march up to Cleves and cleave them up. What was Cleves? Cleves, there we go. Let's march towards Cleves. We can call... Oh, the North Africans are really rebelling. We can call Poland in. We don't really need Poland in at the moment. Lots of rebellions. Hopefully the Eastern Romans can manage to deal with that. They probably should be able to. Or if not, maybe I should build... I can't build on a territory, obviously I can't, but maybe we could get the Guardia Crossa, and let's get the admin. Let's help the Byzantines with their rebellions, because it seems like they won't be able to handle it on their own. France is now 100% occupied. It's occupied Roman territory. Yes, indeed. And let's help the Byzantines out with their little rebellion issues, because it seems like they won't be able to do it on their own. So let's just help them out. The French are now sieging Bulgaria. Very interesting development. But there we go. The French have. Oh, we have once more run into the issue of having too much mill mana. I wasn't paying attention. It's too bad. There we go. And the French have capitulated. So let's take all of Provence, obviously. Then, oh, it would be cool to connect to our Spanish provinces. Some money. There we go. And we can even take the mission Italia Transalpina, which creates a center of trade in Sabudua, and every province in record loses 10 years of separatism. Very wonderful. So now we have a little bit of a connection to Spain. And we can raid the palace of the popes. Let's see what this does. The palace of the popes was constructed by Philip IV of France and is seen as seat of Western Christianity. Since we have driven the papacy from the holy city of Roma and now Avignon, it is time to dismantle this monument to Catholicism's greed. The era of the papacy has come to an end. Gain 25 prestige, 300 splendor, and 5,000 ducats. Wow, okay. Okay, establish the imperial cult. Let's see what that does. With the revival of various Hellenic cults, there is one cult in particular that needs to be formally established, the imperial cult. The imperial cult will serve as the continuous point of stability in the Hellenic religion. While other cults may bicker and fall out of favor, the imperial cult shall stand as a single point of continuity of the faith. Deus sum. The imperial cult, stability, tolerance, diplomatic reputation. Wow, okay. It's too bad that I have 100% stability. But okay, that's pretty good. And formalized separation of powers. Now that's pretty cool. That's pretty cool. And we can take another age bonus. Let's go for combat bonus and terrain of capital. There we go. So very successful war, and obviously there's the military coalitions already firing off. So let's get some alliances going. Bohemia, that's a good ally. And okay, let's see who else. Probably not Novgorod. Portugal's a good ally for the time being. We can only send a diplomat. Maybe a Jam, sort of a Persian alliance. Circassia, Crimea, Gazikumuk. Maybe a Jam or Akuyunlu. But Akuyunlu is on the next list of the targets. So, Portuguese Maghreb. So let's go for Portugal. And how's that? There we go. That's the maximum number of alliances that we could have. So now there's a bunch of people entering into a bunch of military coalitions. So let's improve with outraged and yeah, let's chill out for a while, because as you can see, there's a lot of coalition here. It seems that a lot of the people have a bit of an issue with us, so that's fine. Yeah, let's just chill out for a while and then we will move on to Austria. But while we're in the region, let's just go ahead and finally get that Kosovo gold mine. Let's call in a bunch of allies, Koblerage in Bosnia, and let's freaking go. We're gonna get this gold mine one way or another. And we can also call in, we can call in a bunch of our friends into this war. Not that we need them necessarily, but it's going to make things a little faster. There we go. And we're going to get a gold mine. And we are going to be Gucci. And we can finally get we can also get adaptability, core creation, cost minus 25%. Very nice. And we can get diplomatic core, diplomatic technology, cost minus 10%. So that's another 10% on top of the 10% that we have from Minerva's blessing, and we are going to run through these whatchamacallit, technologies like it's nothing. Yes, indeed. But this war is just a brief little war to capture the the Balkans, and yeah, let's just declare another war. Why not? Let's do multiple wars on multiple fronts, and this should be fairly easy. Let's just go about our business. Let's see what to copy. Let's invest in a bigger army. Wisdom is power indeed. Wisdom very much is power. And rebel uprising, Provence actually. Okay, even though it said there'd be minus separatism, I guess not all separatism has been squashed. We still need some separatism to be wrecked. Burgundy is actually no longer a junior partner of the Palatinate. They are in a coalition against me, and they are... So they gave up the union with Hungary and they released all of the lowlands. Okay, I see how it is. So Burgundy is now just this little area over here. That's all of Burgundy is now. Okay, I see. Well, that's unfortunate for the Burgundians. Silly. Let's get war reps from them. Is it Prussia? Yeah, that's Ducal Prussia. Vassal of the Poland, and the Teutonic Order still exists, by the way, so it could be interesting to vassalize them, but the Polish are our allies for the moment, so let's not worry about that. And Dalmatia, let's see, does Dalmatia have a bunch of cores? It has some cores. It would maybe be worthwhile to actually vassalize Dalmatia. They wouldn't obviously go for it right now, but maybe if we vassalize Dalmatia, that would be very nice. Militia, let's just send in the mercenaries to deal with that. And Serbia now has fully given up. So let's see, if we capture this province still needs to get captured, and then there we go. Visoki. There we go. Full annex of both Serbia and Bosnia. Easy. Very easy. We probably don't have the... Yeah. Don't have the ability to core all of it, but pretty soon we'll have. And might as well just annex Dalmatia as well. Now a bunch of new people are gonna join into the military coalition because we're being very aggressive, obviously. But that's just the Roman way. They just don't understand it. They just don't get it, man. Oh, let's see. Prestige. I would prefer manpower. We actually have a lot of manpower, so never mind. What do we need? What do we want? Probably missionaries. Do we want missionaries? Probably don't need missionaries. Culture conversion, tolerance of heretics, development cost. Let's just go for the classic. Grand minting rise, Diplo support. There we go. So we get some reform progress growth. So we can. My Imperatrix, the Christian infidels have called for a crusade against us. Ooh, now that's crazy. That's crazy. The Catholics have now begun to crusade against us. So let's vassalize. Yeah, we wanted to vassalize Dalmatia because they have a bunch of cores. There we go. And who is our only Poland? We're not going to rival Poland at all. But, well, since there is such a large coalition against us now, we probably want to chill out for a little while. Maybe focus on the Muslims, because this is a very large coalition indeed. And I don't want to face it, not at all, not at all. So I think I'm just gonna chill out for a little while. Yeah, I think that's going to be the best course of things we're doing. Best course of events, yeah, that's the word. But while we're chilling, let's just start a little bit of an excursion into into North Africa, because why not? It's just like these guys are actually coalitioning at us at all. So let's continuing on with our little foray into North Africa. Why not? It's only natural that we do so. And here we go. The Byzantines are actually engaging the dastardly, what was it? Tlemceni. They're this dastardly Tlemceni in a bit of a fight. So very nice. It's good to have reliable vassals, and even, well, it's better to have reliable vassals than it is to have reliable allies, because allies, well, they can abandon you at any point, but vassals, now those guys can't abandon you. So a bit of a big brain move. Oh, here we go, the English, because there's a war. Come on, we don't need this. Bye. Okay, peaced out, no longer valid for. is made a general. Oh, I don't think I want this girl to be a general. She's very good, but a little corrupt, but I don't want her dying off too soon. So, yeah, we don't want to risk the life of our imperatrix. Not at all. Even though a 70 tradition general is pretty good, we don't want her being dead. We still want her giving us the giving us the mana points that we desire. And let's also annex Tripoli in this war because we can, and because the gods demand that we do so. And the Tripolitanians, they are asking for peace, but we won't give them anything of the kind. We will just annex them. And I think from Tlemcen, I don't really want the entirety of Tlemcen. I just want the North African coast, because that's the, if you look at the, oh no, we actually do want their entire territory. Okay, then. Okay, let's just annex Tlemcen then. Never mind. I misspoke. So we'll just annex Tlemcen because we can, and because, well, again, the gods demand that we do so. They are very, very fickle when it comes to who they want to live and who they want to be crushed. So, yeah, unfortunately, Tlemcen just isn't going to make it. Very sad for them, obviously. But that's just how things run in the Roman imperial court. You know how it is. So, Tripoli, is Tripoli annexable yet? No, it isn't. Very unfortunate. Let's see how long they actually hold out for. But, yeah, another North African war. The Portuguese are taking some territory. We might actually be able to vassalize Tlemcen now that I think about it. Yeah, 90%. Probably going to vassalize Tlemcen just because I don't want the... I'm constantly running short in governing capacity. Well, we do have a bit. Actually taking stuff in Europe is going to crush that severely. And I don't mind having more vassals. They're going to be actually relatively useful. So, plus we're now doing admin ideas. Yeah, I think I'm just going to vassalize Tlemcen. Going to have a little bit of a vassal swarm on our side, but that's fine. That's just fine with me. Now, where are the Tripolitanians? Why aren't they giving up? Why aren't they Marrakesh? Let's just why peace Marrakesh. Tripoli. Does Tripoli have any other? No, they don't have any other provinces. So let's annex Tripoli. We can core that very easily. And actually, never mind. I think I'm gonna actually just take stuff from Tlemcen. Let's start with the North African coast and then just work our way down. The Arch occupied by Portugal, occupied by Roman Empire. I'm not really going to give Portugal anything. So there we go. Portugal is just gonna have to conquer their own way and not piggyback off of me. So yeah, but there we go. The North African coast has been taken, and now you really need to chill because the aggressive expansion is going to be through the roof. Okay, our truce with France has just ended, and I think it's going to be prudent to declare the war. Even though my troops are out of position, we want to continuing on, and so I think it would be most prudent if we actually just went full hog back into it with the French. We're gonna absolutely crush them. Bit of a lag spike over there, but again, a crusade against us. They really can't decide. They keep calling crusades against different people, but yeah, we are gonna crush them. And even if we don't crush them, this might just be a bit of a punitive expedition, because as you can see, we are way over, not way over, but we are over our governing capacity now. So this might just be a little bit of a punitive campaign to get some money from them, or to maybe release some more people from their midst. But I don't see any signs of corruption. What are you talking about? Talking these nonsense terms like corruption in the Roman Empire. That's never happened. Those are lies fed to you by the French. Lies fed to you by the French, yes indeed. Oh, there we go. I built a bunch of courthouses. Now the governing capacity is much better. So we can, in fact, take a bunch of stuff from the French and it's going to be fine. Hopefully it does calm down the... It calms down the situation with the coalition a little bit. But even if it doesn't, it doesn't matter. We'll still crush them anyway. We have a pretty decent whatchamacallit, force of allies at our side. So Toulouse is allied with Bourbonnais, and I think they are actually allied with us. No, they're not. Okay, let's just declare the war and go up against Toulouse then, and grab these territories one by one. Algeria, lots of revolts over here. Let's just deal with them one by one. And yeah, that should be that. So I'm gonna grab wisdom is power indeed. So I'm gonna grab a bunch of money and territory and stuff like that from the French. Well, they don't even have that much stuff left anymore. France is all sorts of broken up because of my meddling. They really aren't what they used to be. But still, it's important to keep them humble, so to say. We can take tech, military 9. That's going to be very useful. It's going to be very useful. We are ahead of any... and we can get Leonardo da Vinci. That's going to be very swell. There we go. Production efficiency. We can upgrade to Condotta infantry right away. That's going to be fine, and hopefully the coalition disbands pretty soon, even though it doesn't look like it will. Yeah, and in this peace deal, let's just get war reps, let's get all their money, transfer trade power, do all this stuff like that, because and we could actually take some stuff. Let's take something like this. Yeah, that'll be fine. That'll be just fine. Let's core up these provinces, and yeah, let's finally chill out. Alright, so our Imperatrix just died. Very unfortunate. So now we have Basileus II Palaiologos. And let's go with the Mars this time, actually. Yeah, let's go with the Mars. Because, well, we haven't picked Mars yet. So Mars is infantry compatibility plus 10%, discipline plus 5%. If you combine that with our Roman tradition discipline 5% and the Roman legions of infantry combat plus 10%, our infantry should be off the scales, man. Our infantry should be some of the best in the world right now. So we'll see if the coalition decides to fire, then that would be a good opportunity to test, obviously, our combat ability. But if it doesn't fire, if it just sits around and then eventually we have to fight and come to the enemies ourselves, then that's a worthwhile way to actually test it out as well. We're making relatively decent money at the moment. We own basically half the Mediterranean. And so, yeah, if our little Roman restoration is going actually relatively fine. And I think, guys, it's 1500, September 1500. I think this is where I'll end the first part. I know I said I'd go until 1544, but this is a good opportunity to sort of chill out. I'll play a little bit until the coalition disbands, and then we'll be back with part 2. And then we'll play until maybe 1600. We'll see how things develop, how things go. But yeah, well, anyway, thanks, Kings, for watching, and I'll see you next time.